hello, and welcome to the Adrienne Ross Show, the basketball edition. First of all, I got to say thank you to those of you who took the time to wish me a happy birthday on Friday. So appreciated. I didn't get an opportunity to respond to every one of those or to acknowledge every one of those, but trust me, right here in my heart, I'm so appreciative. I also want to say thank you to the newest members of the Adrienne Ross Show channel. We have Becca Lee, who joined MVP a few days ago. Thank you so much, Becca. And also shout out to Foxter55, not a new member, but upgraded to GOAT just a few days ago. So thank you. And thank you for every rookie member as well. Listen, I appreciate the rookies, the MVPs, the legends, the GOATs. And if you have not clicked the join button to check out the memberships we have on the Adrienne Ross Show, I appreciate it if you would do that, because we are moving forward. Now, I have a lot I want to share today. I released a video yesterday it was an exclusive video to the legends and the GOATs. And it was a preview of sorts of the things that I want to talk about here. I told them I'm giving you a little bit now, and I'm going to expound upon that in a video for everyone. And that's what I'm doing now. This league, this WNBA league, if I may be plain, is just toxic. And I think about Caitlyn Clark, and I can't help but think about when was it exactly that she got the reality check? When was it exactly when she realized that her dream of playing in this league was actually a nightmare? In her exit interview, she spoke about the racism charges and things like that because she was asked about it. And during those comments, she did mention, you could hear the passion in her voice, how she grew up like idolizing these women and wanting to be just like them. But I wonder when it was exactly she realized that they didn't want her. They didn't want her to be like them. They didn't want her to be a part of their group. It has to hurt. And I'm gonna say some things that I know they're gonna be people who are gonna say, well, why would you say that? Why would you encourage that? Listen, it is what it is. I don't know all the contract stipulations. And I had somebody jump on me the other day because I said something I'm going to expound on here. And that is that sometimes I wish that Caitlyn Clark would just say goodbye to the WNBA and go overseas and play. Somebody came at me in the comments saying, do you know the stipulations of her contract? Do you know the heretofores, therefores, and line, blah, whatever? Back up, buddy. I want to repeat what I said. Sometimes I feel like Caitlyn Clark should just get the heck out of Dodge. Nope, I don't know her contract stipulations. And I didn't even pretend to be giving her legal advice. And nor is she listening to me, okay? But I still feel how I feel. It pains me to say that because I'm a true blue American, okay? And I love the fact that these women do not have to go overseas. And what's going on in some of these countries overseas, I honestly, man, if I were a player, I'm not sure I'm stepping up in China or stepping up in Russia. Some of these places, they look for you to sneeze wrong. And next thing you know, we're trying to figure out a way to get you back home. So no, I don't want to have to say that. I also know that there are players who have wonderful experiences overseas. Caitlyn Clark grew up dreaming of playing in her country. She put in the work. She had much success. She's extremely, extremely talented. And yet she comes here to the WNBA and they treat her like crap. And the league is toxic. The players, most of them are confused individuals. Just going to say it. They're confused, wounded individuals. And it's not everyone, but the league as a whole is toxic. The leadership is lacking. And that's why, as they say, you know, the inmates are controlling the asylum or whatever you want to call it. I've spoken on this before. You get to the last game of the Indiana Fever season. You get to Connecticut moving forward to the semifinals. How do they use that time where they get an opportunity to celebrate their win and be, as you find mature players and teams doing, giving credit to the other team who lost, but you give them credit, you show them respect, you thank them for a great series. What do? They want to call out Caitlyn Clark and her quote unquote fans. And the leadership does what? Comes right in on the heels and issues its own statement, totally denigrating a whole group of people who are not fans, but as Caitlyn Clark pointed out in her exit interview, are trolls. And anybody with a lick of sense should be able to see that. But Caitlyn being Caitlyn, she handled the question about racism in the exit interview rather well. Let's take a look, and then I'll come back.
Caitlyn, when your head coach came out with a statement today saying she denounces all the racism that some people have felt in this league, players, trolls online, all those things, as one of the biggest stars in this league, what are your thoughts on the things not only your teammates have to endure, but just the entire league? And obviously, you spoke on this before, but just now that your coach and your GM are talking about it as well.
Yeah, it's definitely upsetting. I don't think nobody in our league should be facing any sort of racism, hurtful, disrespectful, hateful comments and threats. You know, those aren't fans, those are trolls, and it's a real disservice to the people in our league, the organization, the WNBA. But there are a lot of really good fans, whether they've been fans for 20 plus years or whether they're new fans in our league. I think continuing to uplift this league in a very positive light is the best thing that we can do, because there are so many great players, there's so many great teams, there are so many positive storylines that can be written and celebrated. And for me, that's why I became a fan of this league, is these people were my idols. I grew up wanting to be like them. So I think continuing to uplift and, you know, represent this league in a positive way is the best thing that we can do.
One of the things I love about this is that she's quick to point out these aren't fans, these are trolls. She always handles herself well and with sincerity. But why is she even put in the position? Why is she answering for some random people out there who have nothing to do with her or Kelsey Mitchell or Erica Wheeler or Coach Sides or anything else? And I find it interesting that on a night when one of Connecticut's fans had to have a talking to, all of a sudden you got Alyssa Thomas coming to the podium talking about so-called Indiana fans. It's almost like she wanted to get ahead of things. She wanted to turn it around from her fans. Shall I call them fans, or are they trolls, Alyssa Thomas? Do they represent you? But you got out ahead of it so that you could then change the whole conversation. So Caitlyn Clark does a good job in her comments, but here's my concern. My concern is that what Caitlyn Clark does there is not helpful, because people who constantly are trying to denigrate you and attach you to something as vile as racism, people who frankly don't want you in the league. They don't want you. They don't want your fans. They don't mind going back to basic obscurity. I done told y'all this before one WNBA game was played this season. I told you they would rather be in basic obscurity than to have Caitlyn Clark be the face of the league. They don't care. So all you people who are saying, don't they realize that she's bringing in fans? Don't they realize that she's bringing in more money? Don't they realize that it's a whole better picture for everyone? Don't they realize? They don't care. I already told you that. Not if Caitlyn Clark is the face of the league. But what happens when she makes these comments, which she handles well? It's never, ever going to be enough. That's the thing. When people are determined to point to you, to blame you, to cry racism from a bunch of trolls, something you cannot control. What you can control is turning off social media. What you can control is saying, if someone is truly threatening me, what should not be done, then I'm going to get law enforcement involved and we're going to go from there. What I do not do is pull her in and blame her and her team. It's low. It's the last game of their season, and this is how you choose to handle it. It's low. And so Caitlyn comes out, she makes a comment. I'm telling you, if she thinks that's enough, she needs to think again, because earlier in the season, she was asked a question about racism because they want her to answer for all these people who she does not know. It's not enough. It will never be enough. The more you cave, and when I say cave, I mean give them what they want, stroke them. It'll happen again. They're going to want it again. They're going to want more again. They're going to want more again. You don't owe that to anyone, Caitlyn Clark. It reminds me, honestly, like I say, sports is a microcosm of society. It reminds me of the whole political stuff, which really shouldn't be considered political, but it was the issue of defunding the police and all this stuff. And so you would have police officers bowing down to individuals as if they had done something wrong. And guess what we find out? It still wasn't enough, because people who are wounded, who need God's healing, who need the hope of the Lord, until their hearts are healed, they will always want you to pay for things you have no control over. And the more you give in to them, the more they're going to want. It's not like they're going to be like, thank you so much, we understand where you stand. No, it's not enough. And it'll never be enough. Now, to those who say that Caitlyn Clark holds all the cards in this league and she needs to exercise the power she holds because she's bringing in the money, she's bringing in the fans, I'm telling you, in this league, where the leadership is lacking, where the players are out of control, many of them, not all of them, but where that is concerned, listen to me here. Caitlyn Clark doesn't really hold the cards, because I already told you, they don't care. But she also doesn't hold the cards because you know what they sense from Caitlyn? Caitlyn Clark has wanted all her life to play in this league. And they know that. So as much as she seems to be in control because of the financial aspect, because of the eyeballs on the league, because of all that, because they can sense from her, she wants us as much as we need her. You're not in control in that point. Because do they really think that you're going to get your lawyer in and maybe figure out how to, contracts are made, contracts are broken. So I don't know how all that works, but do they really think that Caitlyn Clark would take herself and her fans and head overseas? Honestly, as much as I want to see her play in this country, I honestly wish she would, because nobody signed up for this. Nobody signed up to come into this league, be treated the way she was treated, be accused of the racism, of so-called racism of people you don't know, or the trolling of people you don't know. Nobody signed up for that. She signed up to play the game she loved and to do it on the professional level. And over again, she was treated like crap. The league is toxic. And because Caitlyn isn't a part of their toxicity, and because she proved them wrong when they thought nobody could match the skill they have, and she picked them apart and set more records than we could even keep up with, they don't like her. They can't stand her. They want her to go. And though she has a tremendous upside that is a benefit to this league, they recognize she wants them. I wish she wouldn't. I wish she'd say, I'm gonna do something different. Now, I honestly believe that these women they need God, the league and the various things surrounding the league. I mean, we come to watch basketball, whether it's the league itself or whether it's ESPN or ESPNW and all these things. They just want to shove stuff in our face. You know, they want to shove their agenda in our face. They want to shove, oh, she just passed the ball to her fiance, and Nalissa Smith and Dejanay all hugged up, and ESPNW, I think it was, putting out on Instagram just, Nalissa celebrating Dejanay's most improved player, and she's got the confetti and show the bedroom, and like, we just want to play basketball. Like we really. But if Caitlyn were down with all that, and she was as good as she was, showing them not to be all that to the point that nobody could live up to it, they would still embrace her more. They want her to get up there and answer about the racism of people she doesn't even know. And she doesn't say, because she's not, I mean, I guess she's not going to say it, first-year player. But you know what? Somebody needs to address the fact that, listen, before we even played a game, people were coming at me. People were making comments to the media that the only reason why I'm getting hyped is because I'm white. People talking about white privilege. I just came here to play basketball. The white stuff was already out there before I even got started good in this league. No, racism against anybody is not acceptable. Not against those players, if I'm Caitlyn, I'm saying, and also not against me, but it came against me. None of it is good. And Angel Reese had to get in on it because she's not going to be outdone because she's crying for attention. So what does she say about once Connecticut came out and, made their world statement? Angel Reese said, wait, don't leave me out. Don't leave me out, because remember, it's about me too. Anyway, let's just take a look at what Angel Reese said about the whole thing, because, not to be outdone and all that. Here you have Alyssa Thomas. She's making her comment. So Angel Reese has to get in on it. And she makes a comment that says, y'all know, I've been going through this for the last 2 years, but was told, save the tears and stop playing victim. Y'all a little late to the party and could have tried to put out this fire way before it started. Who's y'all? Y'all, is she addressing the Connecticut Sun and Alyssa Thomas, the one who clotheslined her? Or is she talking about the media? But she had to get in on it. Then she went on to say, somebody here is like, I'm so tired and I'm so bored about this, I guess. She said, I've never in my life had privilege, but I definitely know the power I have through my platform. You got power, but you don't have privilege. Okay. That didn't come overnight. I grew that on my own. With that being said, I will continue to use my voice in the right way and say what's right, even though it has backfired on me to be this villain. I won't stop. Well, we know you tell the truth there. We know you won't stop. You're the one who said you welcome the villain role. You're the one who started it. You're the one who pushed it. You're the one who said you like it, you love it, you're a dog, and all this other stuff. But she had to get in on the whole thing too. Listen, all I'm saying is this. The league is toxic. It's from the top down. The leadership is lacking. And who in the world really would want to play in this league? And I hate to say that. Remember, I was a part of watching this league way back and left and came back. And now what do we hear? People saying, we don't want you. We don't need you. Why? Because we got some trolls out there. You're not ready, because when you have more eyeballs, you're going to have some people who just act up. But to say that that's that team, when, like I said, I'm hearing it coming from the other side too. And here is Caitlyn Clark, who wants to be in this league. My suggestion to Caitlyn Clark is that you soul search and you say, do I really want this? And I know that there are people who are going to say, and I do want to hear your thoughts, but I know that there are going to be people who are going to say, yeah, she should stay. She shouldn't let them run her away. And other people are going to say, get out of there. You don't need them. And I'm just saying, and I believe, those of you who believe in prayer, I believe in praying for the players of this league, because like I said, many of them are confused and wounded and resentful and jealous and just at a loss. And I do pray God turns that around. This league had an amazing opportunity this season, and they didn't want it. They didn't want it. And Caitlyn Clark, someone said, I wish she would write a book on this first year. Already planned. Because Caitlyn Clark coming into the league, I believe, was a huge thing. Although she said, I just want to play basketball, there's a lot more that came to light with her coming into this league. Some of it good, a lot of it not good. This league has shown itself not to deserve. First of all, people question the product itself. Then you have someone who comes in, and not only is she drawing attention herself, not only does she bring her fans to the league, but she caused a lot of people to see a lot of other players, but then they started seeing all kinds of stuff that they didn't want. And you end her first season. You guys use that as an opportunity to try to dog her and attach her to the vilest thing ever. I would say, you, Caitlyn Clark, have other opportunities. The media will follow you. We will follow you. That's what I think. What do you think? Talk about it in the comments. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Like I said, I gave a little preview to the legends and GOATs, but I wanted to give a larger picture to all of you. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Share, like, also join. Look at the membership options there. Appreciate you. I'll catch you next time, God willing, because you know what? I do have a lot more I need to say about various topics. God bless you, everyone.